Happy New Year. Happy 2024, everyone. Roger Hill with the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook. Big picture, looking at the country right now, center of the United States, southern parts of Canada. We have this trough of lower pressure that's kind of dipping on through, and it has been producing a little bit of scattered light flurry action. Up to the north and west, we're starting to see a little bit of inroads here with some sunshine. The hope is we can break out some of that sunshine, especially east of the Green Mountains at first, and then eventually pretty much everywhere later on today, and setting up mostly clear night and a day that's going to feature a lot of sunshine during the day tomorrow. Temperature-wise, pretty cold conditions up to the north and west of our region, especially across Canada where temperatures are even into the single digits. But this mostly is being projected pushing off to the east, and we're going to see these kind of temperatures basically in the 30s work into the region during the day tomorrow, with today being one of the colder days, actually fairly seasonal for this time of year, around 25 degrees at the Barrie-Montpelier EF-NAP airport. Overall, a little bit of an uptick in temperature is going to take place, and eventually later in the week we're going to see a cool down once again. That's all going to arrive basically for Friday and as we head into this coming weekend. Yeah, the GFS and ensemble on the right-hand side and the European deterministic on the left-hand side. And we run the models, we see most of the energy producing precipitation up in Canada, a little bit into our neck of the woods here on the eastern side, mostly Ohio Valley into northern Appalachians, and then back across the west coast and the Rockies. So running the computer model, this is valid later on this afternoon into tonight. We should be seeing a lot of clearing skies, a little bit of a high-pressure ridge kind of ridging into the northeast United States, you can see here. And then our next real shot for precipitation is really not going to come until we get this frontal boundary closer to us. And that's going to take a little while. It looks like that's pushing in. It looks like on Wednesday night we get into a little bit of flurry action. You can see the GFS ensemble also showing that. With an area of higher pressure pushing east, so this won't last very long. So we're looking at that through the day, off and on, some scattered flurry action, a little bit of a coating. We're not looking at very much. And then another area of higher pressure will build into the region. That takes place on Thursday night into the day on Friday, setting up Friday for a pretty decent day overall. The only caveat is it does reach basically just north of the Canadian border per the European model very late in the day. This would be about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then it's really Friday evening we have this frontal boundary that's going to work on through. And it looks like that will deliver something like 1 to 2 inches of snow accumulation. Again, not a big deal, but it could be a little bit squally with this what looks to be like an Arctic front passage, and then followed by an area of higher pressure on Saturday. Now beyond that, note this weather system here. This is a first of two. This one's going to go to the south of us. It could deliver a little bit more in the way of snow across the northeast United States. European is a little bit stubborn on that with an area of higher pressure to the north, basically keeping that at bay. GFS Ensemble says probably we're going to get some precipitation out of it. It's this next one I'm most concerned with because this is going to be later in the week, and we're talking probably Wednesday sometime before it really arrives, Tuesday night, Wednesday of next week, the 10th of January. Well beyond the period, but this is a pretty hefty signal, and it's being signaled as well by the GFS ensemble. So most likely it is going to happen. It looks like some very heavy snow, probably wet snow, and then that's going to change over to rain. The other thing to note, this is some pretty tight pressure gradient, and again, this is way around the corner, well beyond the period. We're talking Wednesday, the 10th of January. Something we'll have to keep a close eye on, but that looks like a high wind signal for some very strong winds interacting with the mountains and then downsloping on the western slopes at least. GFS ensemble looks like this with the 3-hourly QPF, and of course we're talking about minutia here, really not even indicating anything going on from this morning. This is centered on the grid point of Montpelier. Now, what we're going to see here in terms of the total QPF, it's really only about 0.2 of an inch in the longest range, so a little bit of a jump up and then some more snow is what it looks like here. So precipitation type, checking that, mostly all snow. Some indication it could be a little bit of a mix. That's way around the corner. 850 temperatures show that it's all below the 0 degree isotherm, I should say, and except for right here, and that is that little warm-up that's going to take place on Tuesday. We're going to have basically dry weather then, so no worries then, and it looks like it's all back to snow. So good news here, no rain. Dry conditions indicated with precipitable water metrics well below even a half an inch. All good there. Are looking at anywhere from about a quarter of an inch to about a half inch total precipitation, and then I guess this is also continuing below normal. And 2-meter temperature anomalies pretty much coast to coast in Canada. A little bit of a cooling process that is trying to make some inroads here. This is pretty weak. Over the course of the next 5 days, the meteorological output statistics, or MOS, shows that temperatures will be running about 3 degrees above norms, and we have pretty much coast to coast below normal temperatures. This is very much an El Nino kind of signature, and of course the warmth across the northern regions. What about 3 days later? It looks like this. We neutralize that temperature just a little bit, near normal, and a little bit above normal remains out in parts of Canada. And it looks like some pretty good inroads of temperatures running below normal that will have spread in from the west coast through the Rockies and into the plain states. So with below normal precipitation, no real wind issues, this is what we have coming, it looks like, for next week, and something well around the corner. Some indicated high winds potential, as well as some wet snow yet again. This could be a big storm system. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a long ways out. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching, everyone.